Video highlights from the April 2nd Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association meeting that was held at the Roosevelt Community Center. Sincere thanks to all the featured speakers and everyone who attended.
Welcome to the, what is this, April Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association meeting. Our agenda today, we are going to have a little round of introductions and then update from the police department, update from D3, update from the community center, and then our main presentation is going to be from Sarah and Tiffany, right? From Climate Smart San Jose, or talking about, well, they'll explain in more detail, but plans to update the community center. And we'll probably break into some little groups and have some discussions, but they will drive that. In the meantime, there are goodies over there to eat, and there are sign-up sheets over here to sign up on if you haven't already. So why don't we start with a round of introductions starting over here? I didn't introduce myself. My name is David Burrowes. I'm the president of the association.
Say again?
Yeah.
My name is Amaris.
Welcome.
Thank you. And actually, since you have the microphone, we may as well.
Well, I have one anyway.
Oh.
I'm Jeff Levine. I'm a D3 resident, longtime member of the board.
I'm Mark. I'm near Jeff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nikolai Scherry, Captain Central Division.
Hi, Emmy Garcia. I live on South 17th.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Joe Cervantes, and I'm a neighbor from Negley Park.
I'm Brendan Goodman. I'm a neighbor from Negley Park as well.
Sandra, Burgara, a supervisor for Roosevelt Community Center.
Hello, I am Ray. I work in the District 3 Council Office for Councilmember Anthony Tordios, who represents this area.
My name's Dominic. I also work in the council office with Ray and with Councilmember Tordios.
And hello, I'm Sarah Emerson. I'm with the City of San Jose on the Climate Smart team.
Hi guys, I'm Tiffany. I'm also with the City of San Jose's Climate Smart team, and I'm here with Sarah.
He's got a mic.
David Vieira, Vice President of the Neighborhood Association, lived in the neighborhood for 55 years now. Wow.
Okay. Great. Why don't we then kick it off?
All right, thank you. Welcome. Thanks for start off just by reading off a few statistical data for the last month. This covers March 1st through March 29th. I don't have finalized data for the 30th and the 31st, but in the Roosevelt community neighborhood, we received 191 CAT events. That's not a heck of a lot. That's the entire 30 days. In those 191 CAT events, only 43 of those generated a report, which means only 43 of those resulted in some type of incident that required a report, perhaps some type of criminal activity or something to that effect. So that's good news, right? That's not a lot for 30 days. Out of that, if you look at our busiest time of the week, it's usually towards the weekend, which is understandable, right? Which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the busiest hours of the week, which is always definitely interesting for most people, ironically, it gets a little busier around 8 or 9 in the morning, around 11 to 12, and then towards the evening, 10 to 11 o'clock at night. So that's usually where we hit the busiest times. Out of those 43 reports that they're generated, just some of the things that stood out the most were we had 3 aggravated assaults, but none of those involved a weapon. It was just basically assault and battery type incidents. 3 burglaries, 2 commercial, 1 residential, multiple domestic disputes that we responded to, multiple municipal code violation, narcotic violations, and those are usually self-initiated by officers, which means half of the events that generated a report were incidents where officers conducted self-initiated activity where they're arresting folks that they're probably up to no good, that sort of thing, right? So that just shows a pretty strong engagement from our officers that are working in this division. that are constantly out there and trying to take care of business. And then 4 vehicle thefts. Those are the main incidents that sort of stood out within the division. So nothing real critical, nothing major. I know 2-3 weeks back, we had a double homicide on 15th and Clara. You guys probably all heard about that. That was believed to be more of a financial dispute that's still under investigation regarding some underground illegal gambling activity that was occurring at that facility, right? We do have the suspect identified, and we're in the process of chasing them around, trying to locate them and apprehend them. So there's no direct public safety issue to the community, but it matters to resolve it quick. And then there were some folks asking about what was going on Monday at 18th Street. There was a large police presence. It was just our officers were trying to arrest somebody on outstanding warrant, and he wasn't going quietly. And so in the interest of safety and public safety, you had a large presence, because in these type of events, we set up or surround it and call out what we call a situation, or we try to call the person out and surrender safely. So whether there's no use of force or any violence or that sort of thing. So sometimes that takes a little time, right? My understanding that probably took a good couple hours and that sort of thing. It's just kind of scary because you see a lot of cops and wonder what's going on, right? And it's really, there's a large presence just because we're trying to keep everybody safe in the process of de-escalating a situation like that.
I walked by the house on the way here, at least I think it was the house on the way here this morning, and all the windows are boarded up as if they'd all been broken or something. Do you have any idea why there was that much damage to the house?
It's possible that they used little smoke grenades or something like that, after a certain amount of time, if they're not going to give up, we may throw those in there. That forces folks to want to come outside the house.
I see.
Or sometimes bangs. You throw something in there, it sounds like a big bang.
Yeah.
And that's just a loud sound. So that kind of scares people into coming out when we're trying to get folks out.
I did hear one of those bangs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's usually probably why, because we'll shoot through the window.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're not causing any harm to anybody. It just sounds scary if you're inside the house, right? Cinco de Mayo's coming up. The good news is the video's done. It was awesome. It was successful. A lot of folks in town. So you probably saw a lot of people driving up and down Santa Clara Street. So video's done. March Madness was pretty successful too. There's a lot of folks in town. And the next big item that's coming into town is FIFA. That's going to generate a lot of folks coming into town, because it's the entire month of June. But before that, we have Cinco, right? Cinco de Mayo, as we do every year. The process or our setup operation is going to be very, very similar to that we have every year. We'll have the park fenced off, as we do every year. They're considering putting a salsa festival, I think, on May 2nd at Paquesta Park, somewhere around there. The city officials will notify folks that live in that residence area if that comes to fruition. But that's all I have. If there's anybody has any questions or concerns.
Do you have any insight into what will be closed during the World Cup?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any insights into what might be closed during the World Cup?
I don't at the moment. There's still a lot of that stuff is still in planning process. There are going to be some pop-up events, concerts and watch parties and things like that throughout the city. And they're trying to have something like that almost in every city council district or division, that sort of thing. But there's a lot of that stuff is still in planning process. It's a lot of stuff coming. It'll be pretty good month. No, if anything, there might be stuff at San Pedro Square, some of the parks and things like that.
Plaza, no street closures will be contained inside the plaza on June 18th and I think June 12th.
So not anticipating major disruption.
Yeah, not at the moment. And if there are, that'll get out in the media ahead of time.
And any of the ones that our office hears about, we will put in our newsletter and on the sjdistrict3.org website. So if you're on our mailing list and we know about any street closures, we'll send them out. I imagine it's going to be closer to what Super Bowl was versus the NVIDIA with that amount of street closures, but I don't think they're planning on doing anything at City Hall on Santa Clara so far for FIFA. But if we find out different, I will let you all know.
They did do that for Super Bowl.
They did, yeah. walk that way to get to work. So, but I don't think they're planning on doing that for FIFA. But if we hear different, we'll let you know.
Anything else?
No. Yeah, they don't tell us their plans, but I don't think so. Pardon me? No, we don't work with them. And so they don't plan their operations with us. We don't work with ICE. But we certainly can't get in the middle of their operation either, right? Obviously we're here for public safety. So if there's a public safety issue, we have to show up, but no, we don't have any plans with them, that sort of thing. I wouldn't suspect that there'd be a lot of presence, if any, of that amount here.
Anything else?
Any other questions, concerns? Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then on to the District 3 representative.
Sure. So as y'all know, we have Viva Calle April 19th for the east side. I have a couple of flyers if anyone wants to see the route. Beautify SJ has their next neighborhood forum also on April 11th at Emma Prush Park. This is regarding the mayor's budget message, and it's for neighborhood leaders to kind of learn what is up, how it works, all of that kind of thing, and give some of your input. Ooh, I don't know why my words aren't working today. So I have flyers for that. And then District 3 is also having our own budget town hall. That one is also on April 11th. They're at slightly different times though. So if you want to start at one and go to the other one, you can. And that one is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at CET. And that one is going to be talking about council members' priorities, and you can give your input on what you think his priorities should be. And the last one, this isn't super duper relevant to this area, but just in case somebody's visiting, the Traffic Safety Improvements Community Meeting, there are some upgrades happening to the traffic signals on 1st Street and Virginia Street and 7th and Reed to improve safety at those intersections. So we do have a community meeting for that. Oh, that one already passed. That was March 25th. So sorry, please ignore that one.
Any questions? And then on to the community center.
Oh, we did a little guessing. I don't have too many updates. We have our next upcoming event on Friday, April 24th, which would be El Dia del Niño. It's going to be at the rink, so it's going to be kind of like an open skate night. After that, then we have the Cinco de Mayo closure for the Roosevelt Park. The gate is going to go up that Friday, which will be Friday, May 1st. And then it'll probably be taken down all the way to maybe May 5th or May 6th on Tuesday. No, Wednesday, right? Wednesday, yeah. May 6th. Yeah. We will be closing early on Monday and Tuesday. So May 4th and May 5th, we'll be closing at 3 p.m. the community center. We will still have regular programming all the way through 3 p.m. for those 2 days. And then let me see what else. OWL's last day will be April 30th as well for the overnight.
May 1st is May Day, and the organizers haven't figured out where they're leaving from as of a week ago. Do they know now? Because they don't know if it's going to be Mexican Heritage Plaza or here. And I know here is going to have a fence at some point on May 1st, right? Like you just said.
Yes. I know they usually put the fence up that day. I'm not sure if they're putting it up in the morning or in the evening, in the late afternoon. I also just found out too this morning actually, that there's a 5K May Day going on this Saturday that is going to start at the park. I believe it's going to be from 9 to 12:30. I believe they're charging for like $5 for it. And then it's gonna start, I believe, on 21st Street, and then it goes down Santa Clara. There's a route it's on Eventbrite if anybody wants to take a look at it. But yeah, it's gonna start here, and then it says there's gonna be food after. So I am anticipating there's gonna be an impact on parking for that day in the morning.
To our main event, to Sarah and Tiffany from Climate Smart. I'll let them take it over from here.
Welcome and thank you for coming tonight. I'm Sarah Emerson from the City of San Jose Climate Smart program. Let's review the Extreme Heat and Community Resilience Program grant. What are the goals of the EHCRP resiliency upgrades? To advance heat resiliency education, resources, and improvements around the Santee neighborhood and the Roosevelt Community Center. 1, implement resiliency upgrades and a heat resiliency resource hub at the Roosevelt Community Center. The Roosevelt Community Center is a city-designated cooling center. Enhance existing community resources and expertise and enhance the community's ability to adapt to climate impacts such as extreme heat waves, wildfires, floods, and more. EHCRP goals and outreach. 2, co-create outreach to increase uptake of the city's existing rebates for heat pump HVACs. Eco-home rebates save up to $21,400 on electric upgrades. Eco-home payment plan. Electrify with interest-free payment plan up to $5,000. Go Electric Advisor. Free personalized advice via phone, email, or chat for electric home appliances and EVs. Electric Incentives Finder. Find savings on electric upgrades for homes, businesses, and vehicles. HP HVAC overview. Heat pump HVACs are a highly efficient appliance that can heat and cool homes. HVAC can heat, vent, and provide for air conditioning. 22% of single-family homes in San Jose do not have central air conditioning. 40% of apartments in San Jose do not have central air conditioning. EHCRP goals, toolkits. 3, distribute a minimum of 100 heat resiliency toolkits and other educational resources to residents. In September 2025, conducted community survey to determine toolkit contents. From 43 respondents, the top choices were water filters, first aid kits, solar-powered phone chargers, reusable water bottles. In the following overhead slides, you'll see the components of the heat resiliency toolkits, which include first aid items, a heat stress kit, water filters, among other key items. Additionally, included are some informative pamphlets, including tips to stay safe in the heat, along with a disaster-ready guide from the state of California. But this is not simply a one-way lecture. We need your feedback. Please scan the QR code and fill out a quick survey that will help us fine-tune our efforts. What are our next steps? After our community meetings on resiliency at the Roosevelt Community Center, we will be finalizing the steps to start the upgrades at the Roosevelt Community Center in June of this year. These upgrades are planned for a completion date in January 2027. Later, in April and May of 2027, we will be conducting community meetings to review the completed upgrades at the Roosevelt Community Center. Thank you.
Thank you all. And next month we will be having, I believe we will be having our district council representative here to talk. So come here with all your questions for Anthony.
Want to know more? You can join us on May 7th for the next Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association meeting, either in person or remotely. You'll not want to miss this one, as we have a very special guest. Watch your email for details. Scan the QR code to check out our website, which is loaded with information, including the remote link to our monthly meetings. See you next month.